Welcome to today's more important analysis videos on Monday 14th of January with me, Rich Paramarket Analyst at Hantec Markets. We've got a relatively risk negative outlook forming on markets across the Forex and equities today. Equities are taking the brunt of it really, and that's coming on the back of this Chinese data that we had overnight, and it was trade data which actually surprisingly showed that Chinese exports and imports both fell. And that has sort of got negative implications for the global economy really. Let me show you here, if I drag in this chart here, we can see that exports and imports have been growing broadly for the last 2 years, and falling is a real concern actually, considering that the global economic slowdown is really beginning to take hold as a market negative implication, and subsequently we're seeing these markets which are under pressure. We've got the yen, which is the outperformer of the day across the Forex majors. We've also got the Swiss franc, which is performing well, but also the risk negative implications for the Aussie dollar and the Kiwi dollar, both considered to be the higher risk commodity currencies. And not only that, look at the oil price just dropping back again a touch after having had that pretty impressive recovery throughout the last couple of weeks. Risk is also, or volatility I should say, is also picking up. The VIX volatility has sort of turned higher today. Generally speaking, in terms of the dollar moves, fairly neutral. We've got the treasury yields, which has dropped back. Obviously this is risk negative, so subsequently the treasury yields tend to sort of fall in that sort of environment, and we've got that on the 10-year and the 2-year. As I said, in terms of equity market futures, you've got the S&P futures, which about 1% lower expected at the open today. So the Chinese data was not the only bit of worrying data. China trade data was not alone in the fact that we had Eurozone industrial production numbers which fell the most in the month of November, fell the most since 2016, but also 3.3% negative now on the industrial production for the year. So really is some quite worrying numbers coming out of the Eurozone in terms of industry and manufacturing. Again, playing into this risk negative outlook today. So in terms of that, there's no other real data to really consider. Now that takes me to my chart today, Euro Kiwi. Now the Kiwi is a risk positive currency, so performs well in times of improving risk, and subsequently what we've seen is the market turning a bit negative today for the Kiwi. We've seen Euro Kiwi jumping, but you can see this topping out process of Euro Kiwi, a little head and shoulders top pattern, actually sort of suggests that we're going to be sort of pulling back towards, well, certainly that reaction low, probably 65.25 area, that next key support area. But look at these momentum indicators, the MACD cross sell signal, RSI below 50, stochastics accelerating lower. It all certainly suggests that, having been throughout December rallying with a series of higher lows and higher highs, the market has now formed a lower high below 68.85, which base of resistance now, interesting that we saw today, 68.75 area where the market fell over. Little high, lower high as well. So this little head and shoulders top pattern starts to form this new trend lower. And as I said, the momentum indicators confirming that certainly play into that argument as well. So little rallies become a chance to sell in this renewed sort of negative outlook, or corrective outlook I should say, on Euro Kiwi. And you can see that through the hourly chart pretty well, where we've got this resistance that comes in overhead, the overhead supply at around 68.80 area. Interestingly, capping the gains today, RSI failing at 50, MACD lines starting to roll over again around neutral, stochastics already having crossed over negatively, crossover sell signal. It all looks built up towards selling into strength on Euro Kiwi now. So I think that this is an interesting move that we're seeing in this currency, and the Kiwi is beginning to sort of, although aside from today's move, the Kiwi is beginning to position a bit more strongly. It'll be interesting to see if that continues. So with that in mind, I wish you good luck in your trading today, and I will speak to you later.